Wagner turns over 2,000 heavy weapons including tanks, SAM systems. In the wake of his aborted mutiny last month, Yevgeny Prigozhin and his Wagner private military company turned over more than 2,000 weapons and pieces of equipment, more than 2,500 tons of ammunition and over 20,000 small arms. The Russian Defense Ministry, MoD, said on its Telegram channel Wednesday. A video showing turned over Wagner tanks and other armor, artillery pieces. Landmines and boxes apparently full of munitions has also been distributed. The cache of arms and ammunition displayed by the Russian MoD, if it indeed did come from Wagner, showcases Prigozhin's force of high-end weaponry. This list of equipment provided by the Russian MoD includes hundreds of heavy weapons like T-90, T-80, T-72B3 tanks, Grad and Uragan multiple launch rocket systems, Panzer surface-to-air missile systems, 2S-1 Gvozdika 122 mm self-propelled artillery systems, 2S-3 Akatsiya 152 mm, 2S-5 Gyiatsin 152 mm, 2S-4 Tulpin 240 mm, howitzers and anti-tank guns, mortar systems, multi-purpose armored tractors, armored personnel carriers, as well as motor vehicles. Among other items, the video released by the Russian MoD shows MTLB light armored vehicles, 2B9 Vasilek semi-automatic 82 mm gun mortars, TM62 anti-tank landmines, 120 mm 2S9 Nona self-propelled gun mortars, 152 mm D1 towed howitzers, 152 mm 2S5 Gyiatsin S. Self-propelled field guns, 152 mm 2A36 Gyiatsin B towed field guns, trucks with 57 mm S60 anti-aircraft guns, towed anti-tank guns, AK-series rifles. In addition to describing the sheer volume of weaponry provided by Prigozhin, the Russian MoD claims that dozens of pieces of that equipment were never used in combat. In addition to describing the sheer volume of weaponry provided by Prigozhin, the Russian MoD claims that dozens of pieces of that equipment were never used in combat. All equipment and armaments are transported to rear areas, where repair and recovery units of the Russian armed forces carry out maintenance and prepare them for use for their intended purpose, the MoD stated. As for Prigozhin himself, it's been a while since the Wagner boss, exiled to Belarus, was seen in public. The last confirmed sighting was apparently earlier this month, when he returned to St. Petersburg to pick up a cache of his personal weapons seized from him after the mutiny attempt. Days after he ended that attempted, Prigozhin and Wagner battlefield commanders were among 35 people to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin to talk about what happened. The only thing we can say is that the president gave his assessment of the company's, Wagner's, actions at the front during the special military operation in Ukraine, and also gave his assessment of the events of the 24th of June, the day of the mutiny. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters Monday. Ukraine, meanwhile, was able to breathe a sign of relief knowing that upwards of 25,000 Wagner troops were taken off the battlefield in the wake of the mutiny. But it now appears that Russian regular forces have at least received a boost in badly needed equipment and ammunition as its all-out war has dragged on for more than 500 days. Of course, it could only be a matter of time before some of this equipment winds up being catalogued by the Oryx open-source intelligence group as damaged, destroyed or abandoned. Regardless, as of now, the weapons of the once very heavily armed Wagner forces in Ukraine appear to be under the lock and key by order of the Russian government.